And welcome to In the 661 Youth Voices for Kern, where we talk about topics that are of interest to our entire community here in Kern County, but also specifically to our youth. And Gerald Cantu is with the Dolores Huerta Foundation, and we're here to talk about kind of different topics, but one that's kind of very timely right now. It's been in the news a lot, and that is a recent decision to kind of redistrict within the Kern High School District to include more representation for Latinos and minority community members. So, Gerald, what did you think at first about this decision to go that direction?
Well, it came as a surprise. We actually were talking to legal counsel about filing a similar lawsuit against Kern High School District.
That you guys had done with the county because there's a redistricting that is now taking place for county supervisors.
So MALDEF brought a suit against the County Board of Supervisors, and the judge ruled that they were in violation of Section 2 of the the Voting Rights Act. So they're going to have to redraw the lines, and so MALDEF after that ruling, they kind of put all districts, on notice across the Central Valley because this is, not only a regional problem, this is a nationwide problem. We have a lot of, gerrymandering going on, racial gerrymandering and political gerrymandering, and so, they called the governmental boards across the valley, on notice, and just encourage them, to do the right thing and to not gerrymander and to actually, keep communities intact so they can choose their preferred candidates, which will be responsive to them.
I mean, when we're talking about the supervisors' districts, we're looking at potentially a major shakeup because there are some supervisors who are currently seated who may not be able to run in their districts anymore. Yeah. I mean, we're talking about a major upheaval in how the county works. Yeah. How do you think this is going to shake out for the high school district and their trustees?
Well, the trustees did the right thing by
getting ahead of it. You think?
Yeah, by electing to redraw the lines instead of wasting taxpayer money on defending an indefensible, suit against them. So now we actually already have some information on that. We know that they're going to redraw the lines after a process which is going to terminate in middle May. And so they are, it looks like they're going to do it by 2018, yeah, so it's going to shake things up, and, time will tell, who's going to be affected, and what those lines are going to look like. But we encourage the community to really get involved in this process. Folks need to get out there and to let the trustees know that they ought not to do something like split up Lamont into two different districts. This is one community of interest here. And it's been split up into two districts, so part of it is in Brian Beatty's district and part of it is in Joey O'Connell's district. So that is something that we're not going to tolerate. We're going to fight against that, and we're going to make sure that they do the right thing by the communities that we represent.
In your assessment, what does that do by unifying Lamont under one Kern High School District trustee? What difference do you think that will make?
Well, during the elections, it gives them voting power. It makes them into a block and gives them an opportunity to vote for their preferred candidate. So all their votes, will go to the one candidate who they think is best to represent them. And then they can hold that elected official accountable. It'll also lead to a situation where the trustee is responsive to that community because they can kind of vote them out. So as it stands right now, that community's vote has been diluted, and this is the problem with gerrymandering, is that these communities get their voting power diluted, and then the trustees have no reason to respond to their needs.
And just to, explain the history for folks who may not understand gerrymandering, it's when things are redistricted in a way, sometimes nefariously, in a way that supports one particular candidate. When someone says, okay, I'm going to draw the lines here, but I'm going to cut these people who wouldn't vote for me out of my district, so it betters my chances of being reelected or being elected.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's when, the persons who are elected, they're the ones who typically make decisions as to how lines are redrawn. It's something that's required by federal law every 10 years after we do our census. And gerrymandering is a situation where the lines are drawn to advantage one party or one elected official over another. It also is used to divide communities. So there's racial gerrymandering. To dilute the power of a group like the Latinos in Kern County. That was kind of established by the lawsuit against the Kern Board of Supervisors.
And just very briefly, bottom line, how is it going to affect the average person, not just in Lamont, but also let's say, throughout Kern County, how do you think it's going to affect the Latino who has a high school student? Or
Yeah,
will have a
well,
high school
you know,
student
there's
next year?
just what this will look like, you know, if they do this in the right way. For instance, the Lamont community will have an opportunity to ask their trustee to advocate for them for a high school in Lamont, which is sorely needed. So this is a campaign that has been driven by the community in the past couple of months. They've asked for their trustees for a high school district in Lamont, and trustees have been totally unresponsive. They said it's not possible to do, given a number of reasons for not doing it. And it's a very painful, very painful outcome for the residents in Lamont.
So in your mind, it will give them a bigger voice because they'll have somebody specific to.
Exactly, they need somebody who's going to respond to them, to the needs within their own community. As it stands right now, they don't. They have they have two trustees, you know, Beatty and
They're split between.
yeah, and O'Connell, you know, and so.
We'll certainly see how it shakes out,
Yeah,
Gerald.
definitely, yeah.
I appreciate you talking to
Sure.
me about this issue. And
Yeah,
thank you
thanks
for
for having
joining
me.
us here, of course, on In the 661 Youth Voices for Kern.